Hello and welcome back. Well, if everybody can receive this voice of the heart, and if it's really true that then our life will work out on all levels, I mean, that is actually, it sounds like a no-brainer. Then the question remains, why is nobody following that? And the reason why nobody is following that is probably the reason why you're not following that as of now, but it can change in the future. So this is what this video is all about. Why is it? Well, first of all, it remains under the threshold of noticeability. Remember the last video? We said one of two things it is. Either we don't receive the intuition or we don't have the courage to follow that. And when we don't receive it, it's all about like training to feel more until we realize that and learn to feel that. And it's also like, you know, number one, many people don't even feel that and they don't know that this exists. Nobody has ever told us that in school, you know, for most people. And it's also a very unconventional way, yet it's a superior way of living your life. With superior, I don't mean higher in the sense of like morality, higher in the sense of you're better than somebody else. I'm just saying it, your life works out. If you live from a place of intuition, your life works out, period. And actually it's the only way that truly makes sense. Because if you think about it and feel into that, your body knows what's best for you. Your entire system knows what's best for you. And your mind is a very helpful tool to process kind of linear, calculative information, but to process emotions and make sense of those so many millions of factors that go around, like that impact you and influence you. Your mind is just not capable of doing that. So everything we're left with is actually surrendering into the unknown, opening up to life, and learn to tune in with the guidance of the heart. So we live the life that we actually want, and that works out. So the things that we want come to us instead of us going after that. And well, nobody's following that. It's a pity. Nobody has ever told us because, you know, and this is the second point I want to make, it's because of fears. Fears need to be faced. If you live a life from intuition, like the reward, like, see what I mean? Like nothing in life is like nothing meaningful is kind of cheap and easy. You know, if you want to make money and you go to somebody who teaches you the quick rich kind of scheme, you're gonna lose, because all the things that are really worth doing, they're kind of hard at the beginning. And so with the intuition, like the reward is great in the same way as like the reward of having like your own business. If that's matching with your personality, the reward is great. But like, yeah, who's telling you that it's like easy there? We can't get rid of the downside, you see what I mean? So we need to face our fears, but our life quality is like magnificent once we really learn to follow our intuition and incorporate that, embody that. We need to face our fears of the unknown, the unsure, the unexpected. Like we don't freaking know what's going to happen. If I do things differently than what I used to do like my entire life, and I say, well, I let go of everything that I want, and maybe if it's the right time to kind of quit my job because I got some savings, I don't know what I'm going to do, or sell my house and go to Peru. I've met a lot of people there who did exactly that. Sold my house, you know, in Europe, the US, and now I'm here. Got enough money for the next 10 years, and now I figure out what to do with my life. This is what the heart suggests, you see what I mean? It doesn't need to be this drastic of a decision, so please do not switch off. That's kind of too drastic for you. We will go in the next videos into more small-scale applications that you can start with, but this is what it can eventually lead to, you know? Make your decisions based on your intuition, on the grand scheme of things for your life, the things that really matter to you. But we need to face those fears. Excuse me, please, of the unexpected, the unsure, the unknown. We just don't know. Just know it's right. We don't know what's going to happen. So we totally let go of the outcome and remain in the process and have fun with that. Also of like rawness, kind of the dark side of oneself and like the nature within. This is also truly something that I feel is on one hand hard to talk about and hard for you to get a feeling about, but very, very true. So many people are actually very afraid of the nature within. So many people actually do believe if I really let go and felt everything that I feel, man, I would discover some real brutal, like dark, sadistic, or psychopathological, or rapist, or murderous kind of whatever sides of myself that we're actually afraid of if we let our feelings out. And what I believe, everybody has those two sides inside, you know, life is polar, so are we. We have the good and evil within. It's just a question, do we repress the evil? Then it very likely shows up. If we incorporate that and see like, okay, we actually have the choice to go with the evil or go with the good, and we have the choice, you see, nothing is repressed, then we can actually choose to go for the good because this is what feels right. But to leave the things in the dark that want to be looked at, like your own deep, violent traits or whatever that is. Those things need to be faced. And with going with the intuition, it goes through feeling all the emotions that there are. And like some real weird things are going to come up, I'm promising you, but nothing of that is going to kill you. And you always have the choice whether you act those things out or not. So I give you like a little example of that here from like a male perspective, and please try to see it as objective as possible. If you're a man, and especially men above like, the age of 40 witness that, you feel naturally attracted to attractively looking women. And whether they're like 13 or 23, it doesn't matter for the old part of the brain, as long as those, female characteristics are there. And many people actually do judge themselves for feeling this kind of, this sweet attraction towards a 13-year-old girl, But the thing is, when you acknowledge that and see that this is actually just part of my biology, and it's kind of normal for me to feel drawn to a female that displays those young, fresh, kind of female characteristics, then you're really free to not act it out. I believe what many rape incidences come from is like actually those energies being suppressed. And you say, oh, no, I must not, and then poof, it breaks out of you and then breaks free, and then some people can't hold it back anymore, and then they just commit a horrendous, horrible crime. So in seeing that you have to straight, it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, yes, you feel attracted to this 13-year-old kid because she has like the female characteristics, but so what? You have the choice to stay with your wife or to act it out and go with what feels right, because this is truly not the thing that feels right. But acknowledging that, and acknowledge also, many psychotherapists will tell you that many people have actually homosexual or have had murderous fantasies or even homosexual experiences in their early childhood. Maybe you have as well, but nobody's talking about that. So we really have the fear of those things coming up. Actually, I was talking to a hypnotherapist, when I was doing a few of my own hypnotherapy sessions, and he said, well, that's quite normal that you had like a homosexual experience when you were kind of 9 or 10 years old with your cousin. Like, you don't know how many people tell me that, like nearly everybody. I said, well, what, really? Like, yeah, like nobody's telling you about that. And the same way, we've always, like all of us have fantasized about kind of murdering, killing somebody. It's normal to have those fantasies, not repressing them. You see, these are all the things that will come up. I've gone a little far astray on this point, but I believe it's like important to illustrate that with those examples. The fear of rawness of our dark sides of ourselves and the nature within, and also of losing oneself, you losing like the sense of identity and also death. This is all connected, because we make the experience once we follow our intuition that we feel different about who we are. Kind of our identity shifts more towards feeling that everything that's happening in nature is kind of my happening, when it's really true that my heart beats by itself and my lungs breathe by themselves and my digestion happens by itself. All those processes go by themselves. They are like inseparable from me. So this is me. And like all the other happenings in nature are kind of part of the same process of life, just expressing in different organisms. But it's the same kind of primordial force and intelligence that works with everybody, like within everybody and everything. That's for you within. So to see that, and we get like a funny sense of like, well, if I lose the sense of who I am, like who will I be? Will I die? Like we intuit that we won't die physically, but to let go of everything we believe we are is truly frightening. And this is what's mostly called kind of a spiritual awakening experience that can be accessed by following your heart, learning to receive this guidance and then follow your intuition. So those fears need to be expected and need to be overcome as well. Also loss of control, because the intuition is the opposite of control. It's like trust that everything will work out, because you attract the right kind of people in your life, the right kind of circumstances, and even if you don't, that's handled as well. So letting go of controlling everything and wanting to, I need to arrange my life in this way, and if I don't, like, this thing is not correct and not good, and I need to, this control, let it happen, because the things will come your way. You see, in the same way as like a tree doesn't need to worry too much, unless like some stupid being with a chainsaw comes about and chops it. But apart from that, nature gives it everything that it needs, and it thrives for, if you look like an oak tree, for thousands of years. So you are provided for as well. You're part of nature, but it's loss of control that we mostly fear. And lastly, the fear of not getting what we want and getting what we don't want. You know, the fear that if I let go of everything that I want and just follow with what's right in the moment, you know, surrender my plans for the future and just stay with what is right here, right now, and follow that, kind of intuiting my way through life, just doing what feels right from moment to moment. Beware, not doing what is comfortable, but doing what feels right. Not doing what feels good, but doing what feels right. If we live from that place, then maybe I don't get what I want. Maybe I just sit on the couch. Or maybe I just go fat, or grow fat, or all those things that we're afraid of. Do you see? I believe you can intuit what I mean by those fears, and they need to be addressed. You see, they need to be overcome, but also fear is just an emotion. We need to see that those fears are simply kind of constructs in our mind because of something that we haven't experienced. Once we're through the experience, we see like there's like less fear or no fear at all because we've been through that and we've seen like it doesn't kill us, and actually life works out much better. But as I said before, like living your life in accordance and with the guidance of your heart requires faith. And the great, magnificent life that you see in all those people that you admire is due to them having made the decision to follow their heart. Look at all those TV personalities, all those sports people, athletes out there. There isn't a single one of them who kind of solely forced themselves to be there without having had the dream at some point and having followed their heart. You know, all the people that inspire us and that we look up to, they have followed their hearts, you know, in a more pure or less pure way, you know, with the elbows or like without. I don't mean that, but for some reason they have surrendered what makes sense and went with what feels right. What do you truly want? You know, not what do you crave, but what does your heart want? This is the real you. So yes, with that being said, let this sink in. You know, go over your notes, and I see you in the next video.